Jesus, I love you. Jesus, I love you. Oh my. And you are welcome in. You're welcome in this place. I'm lost without you. Can't do nothing without you. Oh no. And you are welcome in. You're welcome in this place. My heart says yes. My heart says yes to your will, to your way. And you are welcome in. You're welcome in this place.
And we are live again this Sunday evening at WLVS Radio, and you are with us. Welcome back to MentorMe Memorable Moments. I'm your host, Tracy Everett Duncan, and look who's back.
Your co-host, no longer MIA, William Craig III.
We've been searching for you.
Yeah,
Where's
found me.
Waldo?
Yeah.
Okay, now, but we are so happy to see you here.
Thank you.
You
Glad
look
to be
good.
back.
You
Thank
look
you.
good. Nice, strong, healthy.
Thank you.
Okay, all right. So, you know what? Welcome to 135 nations.
And all 50 states
Yes,
of these United States.
Exactly. You are probably watching us through listenvisionlive.com or mentorme411.com. And we have a wonderful program again for you tonight. You know, we have a couple of guests that we're going to be introducing in just a moment. But we want to bring someone here with us who is our fashionista, one of the fashionistas. Yeah,
yes.
team of two has split just a little. That's all right.
Okay.
Just for tonight, that's all.
Okay.
We have Courtney Everett with us. She's going to be launching a new program coming up this fall that she's going to talk to you about. All Girls Matter.
Right.
So, Courtney, welcome to an Out of Sync program.
Always happy to be here.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me. I'm happy to be a part of the conversation. So yes, today it's you're going to hear a little bit different subject matter from me. Normally it is fashion related, but recently I spoke with Miss Tracy about something else that's a passion of mine, which is the youth, in particular girls.
Great.
Our adolescent girls are what I like to say they're under attack.
Yes.
And so I felt the need to be influential and take a stand and sort of be a leader
That's
for
great.
my generation in mentoring. So we can put up the slides to talk about what's some of the issues that the young girls are dealing with today.
Wonderful.
All right. So All Girls Matter.
Next slide.
Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so today, youth are dealing with, in particular, depression. I can personally speak to this. 16, 17 years old, being in high school, definitely went through a bout of depression and sort of felt alone. Didn't really feel like I could go to my parents about certain things because, you know, they're your parents. You don't always want to share personal things with them. So that's a big thing. Past hurts. A new study links an unhappy childhood to the most common causes of death in the U.S. That's huge.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is.
And sort of shocking. Challenges, appearance, wanting to be sexy, clear skin, look like a celebrity, definitely a huge pressure, and especially with social media now.
Right.
The girls constantly feel pressure to live up to a standard that's unrealistic.
Right.
And relationships, just
Well, what is it that, what do they call it? Friends with benefits.
Yeah.
That's it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
They don't know how to say no. you
Right.
know.
Right.
right.
Yeah, I had an encounter with a friend of mine from high school, and this was years ago, but I actually had to apologize to her. And the bottom line was, she said to me, back then, I thought that when someone said, I love you, they meant it. And it was just such a deep moment. You know, we both cried. Because being adults, you know, I got it now, but I realized that there was some unfinished work that I had to do, and it was
You have 2 daughters.
and it was a great moment. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know, totally.
Yeah, it does.
Totally.
Oh, okay.
Totally. But yeah, but that pressure is there, and unfortunately, we guys bring it on a lot of times. And yeah, we want to be the friends with benefits and the whole nine, and we'll say whatever we feel we need to say.
That's right.
In order to gain that status. And but like I said, it was just such a great moment, because it was bittersweet in the sense that, yeah, I realized that there was someone from, you know, my past 20, 25 years that was hurt, but at the same time we were able to address it, and I was the one who brought it up and addressed it, and it just made for a very great reunion.
Wonderful.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. I think that's I mean, friends with benefits, that's, yeah.
And I guess the point is, unfortunately, not too many women have that experience.
Right.
You know, the guys that hurt them, that burned them, the whole nine, they're just gone somewhere. They're gone on. And in some cases, I found you still see the person, but that hurt is still there. And now you're dealing with this hurt, you're carrying that hurt, and they aren't even thinking about it.
That's very true. That's very true. And that's one of the things that we would like to help addressing with emotional health. And how do you get over that if you never get that apology, which, like you said,
That's
most
right.
times you won't get it.
No.
So then how are you going to move on so
Right.
that you're still okay?
Right.
Okay, so we can go back to the slides.
Next slide.
All right. So challenges, being bullied, and sexual pressure is still a form of bullying. Your sexuality, which has sort of come to the forefront with the whole thing with Bruce Jenner
Right.
recently. So, you know, he has 2 teenage daughters. I think they're 17 and 18. So that's something that's a huge topic of discussion. Rape. What is considered rape?
Yeah.
How do you know if you've been raped?
Yeah.
Career in college, motherhood, and past shames, killing the future. And like we just spoke about, how do you get over it if you never get that apology? Because sometimes you won't, but you still have to move on and be okay with that.
And these are just some of the topics that you're, because there are a lot.
Really?
These are just some of the, the top 5, top 10? Okay.
Top five. Really, the gist of it is that it's the new black. Our passion is in fashion, but we ultimately want to be able to give back to the community too. That's very important to us, and this is one of the topics that's near and dear to our heart. And so we want to be sort of take the lead and be influential and taking a stand. I know there's a lot of organizations out there. There's All Girls Matter, and so we just wanted to do our part.
Right.
Too.
There are a lot
Why-
of sister organizations.
Well, yeah, and so why reinvent the wheel? You know, just go and hook up with somebody that's doing something and making a difference.
But here we go from the fashionista standpoint. Well, my thought is, what's the point of looking good on the outside if you're just
That's
rotting
right.
away on the inside?
That's right.
True. That's true. And one of the big topics that we would like to touch on is developing self-esteem, because we do play a role in that in developing your image. Self-esteem is a part of that. If you
Right.
don't have the confidence, then it doesn't matter, like you just said, how good you look on the outside. If you don't have the confidence, then it's not gonna translate well. So that's one of the main things that we like
Cool.
to touch.
Okay. all
Very
right.
cool. Good stuff.
So what else you got for us now? Next
You can
slide.
decide. Okay, so loneliness, thinking society will judge you, which I just spoke about, and my personal experience with going through that and not wanting to speak to my parents because of being judged. Anger, feeling like you just don't have a voice and that no one can relate to whatever it is you're going through.
And that your voice is insignificant.
Right.
You're still a child. What do you know?
Right. Right.
Wow.
So we want to help overcome all of those issues and help them to express themselves and to find their own voice. Very important.
Wow. And the last piece there on that bullet point was talking about people in other cultures. You know, we've seen in the news over the past few years young ladies who have come to the forefront because of their stand to either want to be educated or want to have their own careers in other cultures where they are not recognized. You know, women are still in some cultures not recognized as a whole citizen, if you will, with all the rights and privileges of their male counterparts.
Right.
And so you've had women who have been jailed, some that have they've attempted to kill. I believe the young lady who won the Nobel Peace Prize recently, that was her story, because she believed that all young women should be able to have an education, and they tried to kill her.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So yeah, you are not alone is the
No,
point.
that's right. You are not alone. And also that, you know, I saw on that last clip, it was a silent revolution that's going on. You know, it's something when girls get together, they start empowering each other, you know, whether it's a little clique, or whether it's something that's so strong and so forceful. It's necessary. Period. It is necessary, because I saw on social media that, you know, this dad who embarrassed his daughter on social media by cutting her hair, beautiful hair.
Oh, wow.
And as a result of that, she threw herself off of a bridge into oncoming traffic and committed suicide. And it's a horrible thing, you know, and I put down there, daddies should always love their daughters unconditionally. I don't care what she did.
Right.
It didn't deserve that. And so I asked the question, are we being bullied in the workplace? Are we being bullied in school? Or are we being bullied at home?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm glad that you're going to be touching on that too, because we need to know how to deal with the bully, period.
Right.
Right.
Right. And no finer young lady, I think, to address this issue and come to the forefront and gain her voice than Miss Courtney.
Soft-spoken voice.
But sometimes that's what's needed, though.
Right.
Really.
Did you know that she is a classical pianist?
You
A pianist?
You see,
And a ballerina?
the onion has yet to be peeled.
Oh, yeah, soft-spoken. But we'll see what happens this fall when she's in there with those teenage girls.
I'm excited. I'm excited. So big things to come from us. Oh, and before I go, I do have a story to share with you also. When I
Okay.
was here maybe 2 months ago, we spoke about salvation testimony.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I would like to share that on this past Tuesday, I answered the call.
All right. All right. All right. High five there. That's beautiful.
All right.
Yes, you
Thank you.
said you were going to.
And we held you accountable.
We did, and I followed through and made good on my word.
Fantastic.
And there was no pressure.
No, it
we
wasn't.
never pressure.
No.
We just live the life.
No, you know, it was interesting. It just all worked out because I was at Tuesday night Bible study, and the topic was submission. Right. So,
God has a sense of humor.
Yeah, he does.
Really.
Yeah, he
and,
does.
You know, so it came time for call to altar, and I didn't even have a chance to think about it. It's like as if he just picked me up and carried me right up to the
Okay.
front, and I didn't
Yeah.
even think about it.
Wow.
And it was over, and but I was happy. You know,
Right,
I
right.
instantly felt just like a weight had been lifted off of my shoulders. I really
That's
did.
wonderful.
So I wanted to share that.
Yeah.
with you.
Well, thank you.
There you go, girl. Yes, indeed.
Oh,
All righty.
wow.
And it can be that easy for you,
Yes,
too.
it is.
All righty.
Yes, it is. Okay, well, you know what? We
What?
are sitting here with another guest.
Yes, we are. We got a shoehorn. We had to get a shoehorn to fit everything into this program.
Oh my gosh,
I tell
it's
you.
jam packed. It really is. So we are here with Charles Acree. Did I say that
You
correctly?
did.
All
That's
right,
correct.
wonderful. Okay, and Charles is the executive manager consultant, and he is going to be talking to us about the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math programs, and that are going on in the Prince George's County neighborhood. And so, you know what, Charles, before we get started, I want to run a quick video so that I can give everyone an opportunity to shift and to warm up for your segment. So, Mike, if you are ready, can you load that video 001? This is the project Lead the Way, and the students are talking about their experience in STEM engineering.
You get to build stuff, you get to do statistics. It helps me with math, science. I really like the brainstorming and the design process and the hands-on.
The teamwork, most of all, getting together in a group of 3, all of us pulling our own weight and coming together to create like an amazing project.
You get a really great idea of just in general how the world works. Like even if you're not planning to go into engineering, it gives you a great kind of insight as to how things work and why things are the way they are.
Our country needs more engineers. We need more technical people. Project Lead the Way allows us to start those people, those students on that path.
Learning problem-solving skills that Project Lead the Way curriculum teaches you is going to help you in whatever field that you go through.
We offer engineering for high school students that require students to think critically, to problem solve, but also to learn critical skills that will give them the advantage in the marketplace.
I feel like I've learned a lot better teamwork skills from group projects.
A lot of hands-on projects, get to destroy it and then rebuild it.
The opportunities for these are amazing. There's so many different types of courses.
It gets you prepared and ready for college and then eventually for the real world.
You take the theory and you apply it with hands-on skills, and the students see the relationships and they grow from there.
They're more successful. It works.
My dad is an engineer, and he said that what we are doing in class is the basics of what he will do in his job.
It's the best package I've ever seen.
It is amazing. If you are interested in science, math, anything of that sort, it's definitely something you should take. It's a life-changing experience.
Well, I hope that's giving you some idea of what our second segment is going to be focusing on. We have a lot of information that we want to give to you about the STEM program. But Mike, if you can load, and while you're loading that, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we met actually right here in the studio. You were on a program that preceded ours.
That's
And
correct.
we kind of bumped into each other, exchanged cards, and I got excited about, you know, the STEM piece and the technology piece that you were working on. And I guess a few months later,
Here we are.
here we are.
Yes, that conversation that we had was a very interesting conversation about engineering and technology.
Yes.
And from what I shared, you said you would be following up, and you're right. Here we are. My background is in engineering. I'm an electrical engineer.
Okay.
But I've always worked in information technology, starting out with the Navy, aviation.
All right.
The Naval Air Force, but naval aviation. And working, just trying to, at the time when I came out of college, everything was analog and it was just being converted to digital.
Yes,
So my expertise of learning digital and analog technology helped in the conversion of most of the components for naval aircraft from analog to digital devices. So that was about the time also this tool that everyone uses called GPS was just coming out. And I had a little bit of chance to work on that also.
Great. And most people don't know that's military technology.
At that time, it was military technology, a little bit of civil patrol. Now, of course, it's public technology.
Yes.
And we're talking several decades later. So you take for granted when you pick up your cell phone and you ask how to get from point A to point B. At one time, that was reserved for just the military. And now, we all have that.
Oh, wow, yes.
Guy's best friend.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's an expert.
But you also have brought someone with you. She's not in the studio with us. She is on call. So would you introduce us to her, please?
Yes. I'm one of the advisory board members of an organization called Shades of Blue. And we just started a local chapter. And on the phone, we have our chapter president, Dr. Valerie L. Thomas. Dr. Thomas, are you there?
Dr. Thomas, you can unmute.
Okay, Dr. Thomas.
Dr. Thomas?
Oh, she's not on the phone.
No,
She's on the.
Yeah, Dr. Thomas, I know you want to look at your beautiful self, but you're going to have to turn the sound down so that we can hear you.
And talk on the phone.
And
Can you hear us okay?
yes.
Okay, so Dr. Thomas is the chapter president for the Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia chapter of Shades of Blue.
Okay.
National organization out of Colorado, with the national president being Captain Willie Daniels II.
Okay.
And he is an airline pilot.
Oh.
They helped founded this organization, and chapters are being developed. So our chapter is new, and we're just getting started. So Dr. Thomas is going to tell you about some of the activities that we're getting started that are all STEM related.
Oh, great. All right, Dr. Thomas.
Okay. Sorry to take so long to get on, but there's a delay.
Yes.
So I was waiting to finish listening to what you were saying on the phone before I would start talking.
It's okay.
So tell us a little bit about what you all have planned in the coming months as it relates to Shades of Blue.
Okay, well, Shades of Blue, which is an aviation-oriented STEM program, is a program that's been around for a while, but our chapter is very new. We've had 3 meetings so far, so we've been organizing. However, we've been planning. So right now, we're planning, our first activity that we're planning is to send some students to the OBAP, and OBAP stands for the Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals. They're having their 39th convention in Crystal City, and on August 13th, they will have a Youth Day program. So we are in the process of trying to identify students, up to 200 students, to participate in that program.
That's exciting.
We also are trying to, or I should say, we're planning to raise some funds to be able to send some students from this area to the gala, Shades of Blue Gala in Colorado. And this year, the theme is going to be honoring African American astronauts.
Mm-hmm.
So we're excited about that, but we have to raise funds to be able to do that. We also want to do some camps. We want to especially do an aviation-oriented camp for students, and we've submitted an application for funding to be able to do that. And it turns out the application that was submitted includes 4 camps.
Wow.
One is on mathematics, one is on digital, things like digital videos or something like that, and there's another one. There are like 4 different camps, 1-week camps. And also there'll be after-school program and then a Saturday academy-type leadership program.
So let me...
And
I'm sorry.
And we're planning one more thing, too. We're planning to participate in the Science and Engineering Festival for 2016. And that's going to be at the Convention Center. And they have thousands of booths, and we hope to be one of them. Mm-hmm. And they'll have like hundreds of thousands of people come through.
Wow.
So as soon as we have money together to pay the fee, then we can start planning on what we want to do, what kind of hands-on activities we want to have there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this, and I want to make sure our viewers, particularly the parents, have a very clear idea what STEM is all about and just how far-fetched it is. So Mike, if you can put up the slide, please. Yes. Okay, STEM is the acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, and it focuses on schools to improve the competitiveness in science and technological developments. And it's used in education, and I guess the first time that it was debated, per se, was in the immigration debates when they were looking at bringing more foreign students in to learn this technology, and you know, eventually it started outsourcing some of the U.S. jobs and became a mess, really, in the economy. But if we look at the next slide, we look at ICE, U.S. ICE, list the disciplines that these technological areas can embark on. And in science, biochemistry, nuclear physics, I mean, we're looking at those wartime things that affect us in the nervous system, the gases, the chemicals and things. And in biochemistry, you know, just our very own Dr. Michelle, being able to put your hand on that cradle and get a readout on your body. And I think, Charles, you created something along that line too.
With the
biotechnology?
I've done work with the Department of Defense extensively. I didn't actually create anything, but I worked on many projects.
Okay.
So there are several projects, but there are also, as we found out from GPS, there are a lot of peacetime applications for these technologies, and a lot of what we enjoy these days, starting from the toys that our children play with to changes going on in transportation, communication. A lot of those changes came about from what we now call STEM, but technology-based components that were inserted from specific purposes, say military, to more general practical applications to everyday living.
Because we talked about just some of the toys that the kids play with. My grandchildren have Leapfrog, that learning.
Very popular educational program that is based on technology as a component to assisting young children before they can read and write, learning. I mean, think about it, learning.
That's amazing.
And one of the basic skills that's being developed there is critical thinking.
Yes.
And that's something that's key to the STEM program, is developing critical thinking skills for our students today, and any individual that goes into the STEM technology areas. Now, when you read about STEM, you hear a lot about the technical focus, but there are actually a lot of components of STEM where you do not have to have the technical skills, just the understanding to work in pretty much all other areas. I mean, take something as far as accounting, which is not considered a STEM field, but look how much technology is used in the accounting field today in order to assist individuals, families, and companies just keeping up with their budgets or creating budgetary practices to manage a large national or international organization. So there's a lot of applications in STEM where students should really apply themselves to understand STEM, but major in any career choice they want. Just understand the technology that's already there.
Right.
And they may come up with a change based on some of the non-practical or non-technical applications, then they can create a change in their field. Then we can talk about someone who's developed something.
That's right.
You know, I saw a piece over the weekend where the young folks in a local high school were using the 3D printers to create artificial hands. And one example was one of the kids came up with a two-sided ping pong paddle attachment, if you will, so that someone who had lost a hand would be able to utilize this, here we go, literally homegrown appendage to play ping pong, both forehand and backhand.
Okay.
Right.
And I mean, how imaginative, how creative, but at the same time, useful and very realistic. And he used modern technology to create it. So I thought that was very cool.
Right. And you bring up a technology now that we're going to hear a lot more about. As a matter of fact, one of the programs that Shades of Blue is looking at is creating a 3D printing technology program with the school system that students can also extend to home, because we are a community-based organization.
Okay.
So this extends what students learn in school into the home and into the community. So any student can, for example, come up with an idea and have an environment where they can go in and test out how applicable is it to solving the problem. So.
And I guess what we're saying is, parents, your children are probably already doing some type of STEM already.
Already.
Right.
You just need to go ahead and search your area, your neighborhood, to find a program to get them connected with. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that too.
I just wanted to just clear up one thing. What age group are we talking about? And what are typically the kinds of activities that young people can look forward to by being a part of these programs?
So we started talking about Project Lead the Way, which actually has programs from K through 12 and extending into college. Shades of Blue, we've well, we don't necessarily have an age limit. I mean, there are some requirements for ages of some of the activities for students.
Okay.
But on our website, any student can sign up
Gotcha.
and become a part, and parents also. Our website, ourshadesofblue.org, will allow you to go on. A student can sign themselves up. It asks for basic personal information, nothing extensive, of course, with their parents' permission. And from there, we have programs that are only in a few states so for the chapters. But if they're not in an area where there's a chapter, then they will be assigned through the national organization, and someone will work with them.
Wow.
Because our program is set up, we can actually work remotely over distance also.
That's great.
And there's a very extensive training online that students can start their STEM training from the materials written as well as video, multimedia, but they can start learning from wherever they are.
That's great.
Yeah.
That was an interesting question and a great segue into the next piece, but we're going to take a quick break. We want to talk about how the program has expanded now to include kindergarten through 5th grade and then the universities for the after college. So Mike, if you can roll that video counting to 100, I think that'd be a great segue for our kindergartners.
Come on, everybody, count with me. Put your hands up and count to the beat. Come on, everybody, count with me. 1 to 100 is where we gotta make it. Come on, everybody, count with me. Put your hands up and count to the beat. Come on, everybody, count with me. 1 to 100 is where we gotta make it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Just follow DJ Double D. He's the coolest MC, he's the coolest. Just follow DJ Double D. 1 to 100 is where we gotta make it. Just follow DJ Double D. He's the coolest MC, he's the coolest. Just follow DJ Double D. 1 to 100 is where we gotta make it. 1, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and now we're at 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, and now we're at 50.
Come on, everybody, count with me. Come on, everybody, count with me. Come on, everybody, count with me. Count with me, count with me. Come on, everybody, count with me. Come on, everybody, count with me. Come on, everybody, count with me. Count with me, count with me.
51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and now we're at 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and now we're at 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, and now we're at 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and now we're at 90. Come on, everybody, count with me. Put your hands up and count to the beat. Come on, everybody, count with me. 1 to 100 is where we gotta make it. Come on, everybody, count with me. Put your hands up and count to the beat. Come on, everybody, count with me. 1 to 100 is where we gotta make it. 91, 92, 93,
94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99,
now we made it to
100.
Okay.
We made it to 100.
Yeah, too much fun there.
But I ran
great.
that to let you know that there are so many educational programs out there that are online that will teach your children how to rock and roll with math, because it is part of one of the STEM programs too. So during this summer, you know, Reading Rabbits, Math Rabbits, they're all out there. They don't cost a lot of money, or you
Right.
can download some of them for free. ABC.com is out there too. There are a lot of programs that you can get your kids involved in during this summertime. And I think it would be a great thing to introduce them to them as well.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
And mentioning 100, I'm encouraging students that I tutor to learn their times tables instead of 12 times 12. Go all the way to 100 times 100.
Okay.
Very
All
cool.
right. So
Mental math.
we'll see if we're going to get some folks to accept that challenge. You know,
Yeah,
maybe we can
it-
start a little group or something.
That would be very interesting.
And you know, here's one of the things, because sometimes people feel like you got to have a triple digit IQ or something to do these things, and that's just not the case. As with many things that we deal with in our lives, a lot of this is how we're socialized.
Yes.
And if we're socialized to believe that we can do some things, guess what? We can do some things. And so I don't want anybody out there to think, well, oh, you know, my kid's not doing well in school. He'll never or she'll never be able to do anything like this. No, that's absolutely wrong. What I think we're talking about today are opportunities to show how you can involve your child in something that they're already doing, but you just haven't identified the ways in which that they're doing these things. STEM is a part of their lives.
Yes.
Science, technology, engineering, and math is a part of their lives.
is.
When 2-year-olds can pick up a smartphone and take a picture of
Hello.
themselves and then go to the gallery and look at the picture, they
got
are
somebody in
involved
mind.
with STEM.
They are definitely involved with
Okay,
STEM.
so please, you know, everybody matters. Hello,
That's
girls
right.
matter in
Yeah.
STEM. This is not a male-dominated oriented
Yeah.
program. Is that right?
That's right. As a matter of fact, there are several programs because STEM is heavily male,
Okay.
historically technology, but there are quite a few women and young
Yes.
girls that are interested, and there are special programs, some at even the local schools and universities. I know Prince George's Community College as well as the University of Maryland College Park has special programs for young ladies and young girls that are interested in STEM. And they also have community outreach programs that goes through the school, but it reaches into the community. So maybe you're not in a school that has a strong STEM program,
Right.
but if you have interest and your parents are encouraging you and supporting you, then there's a program there that can assist you.
Exactly, exactly. Let's take a look at a quick video. I think the founder of the Shades of Blue was interviewed by CBS.
Yes.
And so we have a quick video that we want to show you that will give you a little bit idea, and then we're going to come back and talk to you and Dr. Thomas again about Shades of Blue.
Okay.
Well, we started Shades of Blue in 1999 as a group of airline pilots to get our students engaged at an early age about pursuing careers in the STEM categories, especially in aviation and aerospace.
Mr. Daniels helped to inspire me, and if I worked hard, I could do just about anything, even fly an airplane.
We're helping to create the future workforce, and we're giving something back to the next generation and to the future of our world.
Wow.
Right, that's great.
Exciting.
Yeah, so that's our founder, Shades of Blue. And Shades of Blue is a community-based STEM program. It's focused in aviation and aerospace, but a lot of the careers, not just the pilots, but a lot of the careers are STEM-based careers, all the way down to the mechanics.
Right.
Every individual that supports aviation has a connection to STEM. And whether they're doing anything with the technology or peripheral to services to the customers, there is technology involved in every aspect of aviation. And one of the features of Shades of Blue is a student can actually get their pilot's license before the age of 18.
Very
Tweet
cool.
that out.
Complete requirement.
Very cool. Talk about I believe I can fly. It is now reality.
Yes.
And there's a lot of opportunity with careers. One of the, we talk about not enough people coming through the pipeline in STEM for technology jobs. Another area where requirement is going to be is pilots. There are not enough people becoming pilots to support
Wow.
the aviation field, so
I
there's
did not
a
know
lot of
that either.
opportunity
Okay.
to develop themselves as a young pilot and be a part of something that's a great need. And of course, any of us that have flown, we want to make sure there's a great pilot sitting
That's
up
right.
front.
That's right. Indeed.
I know you have a Facebook website, and there are a lot of pictures of your program and the students getting their certificates, and they're behind the wheel of that plane.
Behind the wheel of the plane, working with the emergency crews, understanding what they do. There's some videos online also. So when the students or the parents go out and register, you have access to not just the training material, but to videos that show you students out on airfields learning how to interact in the same role as the individual they're working with. So they get to climb into the cockpit, sit behind the controls. They have learned some of the controls, so they know what they're looking at.
Right.
There's a video where they show them working with the emergency crew, and of course they're standing waiting, but the emergency crew brings the vehicle in the same as they would if there was an emergency, and they actually get to try on some of the outfits like the fire retardant firefighting outfit and some of the other tools that are available. So they get a chance to really feel like what does it feel like to be inside this outfit trying to perform your duties as an individual that has that role.
And what's that website where they can see those things?
It's ourshadesofblue.org, and also on Facebook is Shades of Blue.
And you also have YouTube.
There is YouTube. There's a channel that the national president has created, Willie Daniels. So if you do a search for Shades of Blue, Willie Daniel in YouTube, you will bring up his channel, and there are several videos there as well that talks about the program, and you'll see how far back some of the training goes that the students have had a chance to experience.
So let me ask Dr. Thomas, from STEM technical woman to woman, what is what is your passion behind all of this? What do you want to see accomplished?
Okay, my passion is I want to see our students get into technology. Well, when I say technology, I mean STEM type of technology, not just being a user of technology, but really get into it and start doing with technology and STEM what we have done with music and sports and other things. That's what I would like to see ultimately.
Okay, because this isn't a new thing per se. President Obama took a look at this 5 years ago, and I think it's supposed to be going through some measurements this year, 2015. But even before him, President Bush, was pushing for STEM to be more active in the school or in the educational arena.
And I think the mere fact that you have organizations now that can be the arms and the hands, if you will, to the community is really great, because there are some organizations, companies, I should say, some corporations, multinational corporations, that really want to play a part and play a role in helping young people become more involved in the various STEM programs. And by having you guys out there, it gives them it helps us to hold them accountable to their mission that says that they want to do these things. So, definitely it's great to see that you're there. And I certainly applaud your efforts to raise the awareness, not just for parents and students raising the awareness, but to actually give them outlet, to actually become involved in something that's going to help them for the rest of their lives.
And that is one of the goals of Shades of Blue. We work with students from the time they come in as a student through college into assisting them with funding for college, as well as finding careers when they graduate from college. So this program will work with an individual all the way into adulthood.
And then they get to give back.
And they do get to give back.
Yes.
Right.
And it fosters that, though.
Yes, it does. I mean, it is when you enjoy what you're doing and you've learned it from a young age all the way up to your career, and you start giving back, you know what it means to a young person to get involved in something that they're going to enjoy.
Yes.
And as Valerie mentioned, the interest is to help individuals perform in the technology area as we help people perform in other areas and to become leaders, like the idea of the appendage, the paddle, where you can create a lot of services, support, and young people have lots of ideas.
Definitely.
STEM is a way to start practicing, getting them out there and seeing if they can become a reality. One of the things, and we have not talked about money yet, STEM is one of the STEM professions is the highest paying careers out there. So it's not just about money, but also STEM is the area that has created more new millionaires and billionaires than any other industry. And there are people now who are billionaires that 10 years ago we never heard of.
That's correct.
But you know, we were talking about the individual in Senegalese Africa. He's one of the musicians. He must be hot there. I can't even remember his name right now, but he is all over social media because he is getting ready to light up over 600 million homes in Africa with solar energy.
Right.
Yes.
So
Right.
the
Now, I wanted to
partnerships.
mention-
Go ahead,
yes.
doctor.
I want to mention that a lot of, and I'll probably be correct if I say most of the pilots now are baby boomers. So they will be retiring over the next 15 years. There'll be about 69,000 retired pilots.
Wow.
So we need to prepare our students to be able to fill those slots. And one of the things that the founder of the organization told me was a pilot can have close to a 40-year career making six figures.
Wow.
So that's not something that would be incentive for students who want to learn about aviation. I don't know what will be. And then plus I wanted to say that I'm retired from NASA. As a matter of fact, I've been retired for 20 years as of this year, and I worked there for 31 years. And the whole time I was there, I was doing education outreach, sharing the technology and inspiring students, about STEM. And that was one of the things that NASA was and still is extremely supportive of. They have various programs like summer programs. They have all kinds of opportunities. They have a visitor center, and I would encourage students to go and visit the visitor center on the weekends. They have model rocket launches once a month on Sunday, like one Sunday a month. So that's something else students can get experience doing and participating in. So there are a lot of things that are very supportive and easy to access for students to encourage them to get into STEM areas.
Now, when we talk about NASA, we're talking about Greenbelt, Maryland. Is that correct?
Goddard Space Flight Center.
Maryland, yes.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Right around the corner. Yeah.
Dr. Thomas, then during your tenure at NASA, you must have met the African American astronauts.
Yes, I met Chuck Bolden, who's now the administrator for NASA. I met Guyan Bluford, who was the first African American astronaut to be launched into space. I met Mae Jemison, who was the first woman astronaut, African American astronaut, and I met Gregory Frederick. I can't think of his name now, but it was another one. So I met several of them.
I had a video, honest viewers, I had a video all prepared to show you the faces of the Black American astronauts. Beautiful, beautiful individuals, but I did not convert it to the format. So what I will do is after this program, when I load this program up for viewing, I will definitely load that video of the astronauts as well. That is exciting. It was exciting to see that.
And you can go out on our website, ourshadesofblue.org, and also look at them. And if you're interested, you can come out and meet several of them at the astronaut gala that's coming up this August.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Is that going to be local?
It's going to be in
It's
Colorado.
going to be in Colorado.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I don't know whether you knew it, but the African American woman who played on Star Trek, she was hired by NASA. She was hired by NASA when they were looking for African Americans to be astronaut candidates.
Oh, my.
She's going to be at the gala. She's going to be honored too.
Okay.
Michelle Nichols.
Yeah, Michelle Nichols.
Or Lieutenant Uhura, as many know.
Uhura, yes. Oh my goodness. This is exciting. This is truly exciting. So then you've got parents out there, they're probably biting at the bit and sitting on the edge of their seat. They want to know, how do they get their child into a STEM program? Is it based on, some type of funding or money that they have to pay towards the program? I mean, how do they get their child in there?
So in the school,
There are a lot of programs that are put on by universities, government agencies, STEM organizations. And if you will give me your email address, I get a lot of them come across my computer. I can send them to you.
Oh, that'd
the
be
ones
great.
that I hear about.
Okay, we can post it on MentorMe411.com.
And there are some costs, but most of the programs you can get into for free.
Mhm.
If they're in school, there's usually free. In our case, we raise funds, so we're looking for partners to help pay for the cost of the programs that we mentioned and to help fund the students and their interest in STEM.
Okay.
So we will be reaching out. You'll hear more from us
Great.
about looking for partners to help support the organization.
And for you grandparents out there who want to do something great for your grandchildren, this would be a great opportunity to introduce them to something that will change their lives. So definitely take a look at the organization and what they're doing and see how you might want to give.
Now, I know we're coming up on the hour. I do want to ask you two last questions because, you know, with anything that we do, there have to be measurements.
Okay.
How are you going to measure the success of your program?
I would say the program success has already been measured by the students who've come before. Several of the students started out just learning. They've gotten their pilot license, as I mentioned, some students have gone on to college and been assisted with getting into college. As a matter of fact, some of the colleges and universities we have special relationships with to assist students in getting support as they enter those universities. And then coming out, we also have a relationship with our supporters and our partners. They can get careers because those partners know that these individuals have been trained, not just academically, but outside of the classroom. And they now know they're getting someone that is a high value, I guess you can say their education and their contributions have received considerable attention, and they can start out immediately contributing to that organization. So often young people who graduate get introduced in such a way that their interview process is usually very short.
Gotcha.
And they get hired and they come in as someone that's sought after by that organization.
That's fantastic.
Right. And that has already occurred. So this is something that we're building for the local area, but it's already occurring in several areas nationally in several communities.
Okay, so let's talk about the area. At risk, affluent. I mean, is there a difference at all? Are all children accepted?
All children are accepted.
So have you? Yes,
We're
Dr.
really
Thomas?
targeting students who are usually underrepresented. I mean, anybody could participate, but we especially want to reach the ones who don't usually have those kinds of opportunities.
Okay. So you have placed the program in one of the local areas here. Okay. How is that working so far?
Well, as Dr. Thomas mentioned, we've had 3 advisory meetings so far. We are building relationships, we're establishing programs, and we have guidelines and assistance from the national of programs that have already been created. So we're not recreating the program, we're duplicating it and implementing it here for the local students.
Okay.
So this is a ground floor opportunity.
Yeah, grassroots.
Yeah.
Love it.
And anyone who wants to come out and help us create this foundation, we
That's where I
are
was
here
going.
looking for you. You know who we are. If you're listening to this program, you can go on to ourshadesofblue.org. There's a registration for students, for educators, and volunteers.
Great.
Okay.
And anyone interested in being a sponsor or a partner, you can also indicate that when you register as well.
There was one thing that Charles and I talked about because, and I think we talked about it before your segment, you know, why go out there and reinvent the wheel when you can just go ahead and partner with an organization that's already been doing it. And so I invite you, if you have a STEM program or you have a passion to create a STEM program, don't do it by yourself. Don't isolate yourself. Since this is a nationally recognized program, and I believe the project LEAD program is also implemented in all 50 states.
It is. Project Lead the Way, and that is a school-based program.
Okay.
So the difference between Project Lead the Way and Shades of Blue is we are a community-based program, so we extend what the students learn in school, but we also give them flexibility to go beyond the academic requirements to what they enjoy. So if there's something they have a passion about or something they want to investigate further for their own enjoyment that's STEM related, they have an opportunity through Shades of Blue to possibly find other students in the area or share with the other students in the area something that that can actually benefit everyone. So, and there's plenty of opportunities to showcase and support each other the way this organization is designed.
Okay. And visit that Facebook page so that you can see those pictures. Those kids are engaged. They look like they are enthusiastic about this. But Dr. Thomas, did you have any closing comments?
Well, one of the things I wanted to say was, as I said earlier, we want to try to raise some funds to send some students to the gala in Colorado. And one of the things we're thinking about doing is a crowdfunding project.
Yes.
So I want to put that out there. So if anybody wanted to help us make that happen, they can just sign on and make their donations through that.
William is an expert in that. He can help you get that page up. William Craig III, who is sitting next to me. He can help you get that page up. Okay, well, give him our contact information because we want to get started on that.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And what about you, Charles? I do appreciate you coming and sharing with us.
Well, thank you. And I just encourage everyone, the students, particularly in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, to go onto the website, ourshadesofblue.org, and register themselves with their parents' permission. And parents that want to assist as an educator or a volunteer, register is free. It will get you engaged in what we do and how we connect. And for those who want to support, be it financial or with some other resource, we are open. And we've actually started creating partnerships already with other organizations. So there are local organizations that we partner with to extend their programs with our programming, and it's something that can be extended to the national level. So.
All right. We're creeping out into the community.
And Courtney, I
That's
could certainly
right.
see you talking to some of these young people who may be a little apprehensive about all the issues that you discussed earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there may be a volunteer opportunity there for you as well.
Mm-hmm. So we want
I would like to add one more thing, one last thing, in terms of reaching out to people who want to partner with us. We talked to somebody from an organization called NanoRack, and their education outreach arm is called Dream Up. And what they've done is they have put together a piece of equipment that's plug and play, that students can put research projects in so that they can do microgravity research projects on the International Space Station.
Wow.
So that's another area that we want to pursue. And in terms of research projects, students from K to PhD can do projects to put on the space station.
All right. Okay. Well, you know what? We're going to get that information from you too and upload it to the website. And I think we've got a lot to get parents started at least. Indeed. Okay. And we've got a lot that's going to be happening during this week. And until we see you again, we need you to be safe, be smart, and be healthy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, I wear my clothes like this because I can. And I wear my hair like this because I can. And I walk around like this because I can. And I do my thing like this because it's who I am. And if you expect me to give you an apology for being nothing that you're used to, some of you don't